When we look up at the night sky, we see a peaceful, twinkling blanket of stars. It looks organized, predictable, and quiet. But the deeper we peer into the void with our telescopes, the more we realize that the universe is less like a silent cathedral and more like a cosmic fever dream. Space doesn't just contain stars and planets, it contains things that shouldn't exist according to our understanding of physics, and objects so massive or strange that they make our entire solar system look like a grain of sand in a hurricane. Take rogue planets, for example. We're used to the idea that a planet needs a sun to call home. It sits in a nice, warm orbit, spinning around a gravitational anchor. But the universe is actually crawling with orphans. Rogue planets are worlds that were either kicked out of their home systems during a gravitational scuffle or formed all on their own in the darkness. There are billions of them drifting through the Milky Way. If you were standing on the surface of a rogue planet, you would experience a level of isolation that is hard to wrap the human mind around. There is no sun, no moon, and no seasons, just an endless, frozen night under a sky of stars that never change. Many of these worlds are gas giants, trapping internal heat from their formation, meaning they might have subsurface oceans of liquid water kept warm by radioactive decay, all while drifting through a vacuum of minus 270 degrees Celsius. They are the ultimate ghosts of the cosmos, invisible and silent until they happen to pass in front of a distant star. Then there's 55 Cancri E, which sounds like a boring serial number for a rock, but it's actually a planet made of diamond. Located about 40 light-years away, this super-Earth is twice the size of our home and weighs about 8 times as much. It orbits its parent star so closely that a year there lasts only 18 hours. Because it's so close, the surface temperature is a hellish 2,400 degrees Celsius. Scientists believe that because the planet is so rich in carbon and under such immense pressure from its own gravity, at least a third of its mass is pure diamond. It's a literal fortune floating in the sky. But if you tried to land there, the heat would vaporize you before you even touched the crystalline ground. The atmosphere isn't air, it's a thick, shimmering haze of hydrogen and helium, and on the dark side of the planet, it might actually rain liquid lava. If you're looking for the coldest place in the known universe, you have to look at the Boomerang Nebula. It's a young planetary nebula located 5,000 light-years away. Usually, space is cold because it's empty, but the Boomerang Nebula is colder than the background radiation of the Big Bang itself. It sits at a bone-chilling minus 272 degrees Celsius, just 1 degree above absolute zero, the point where all molecular motion stops. The reason it's so cold is due to an effect called adiabatic expansion. The central star is dying and spitting out gas at nearly 600,000 kilometers per hour. As that gas expands rapidly into the void, it loses energy and cools down, much like the air coming out of a pressurized can. It's a cosmic refrigerator that turned itself on and forgot how to stop. While some parts of space are freezing, others are surprisingly social. Sagittarius B2 is a giant molecular cloud of gas and dust sitting near the center of our galaxy. It's one of the largest in the Milky Way, containing millions of times the mass of our Sun. But what makes it bizarre isn't its size, it's the chemistry. Astronomers detected the presence of ethyl formate in the cloud. That's the specific chemical compound that gives raspberries their flavor and rum its distinct smell. So if you could fly through the center of the galaxy and roll down your window, the universe would smell like a fruity cocktail. However, you wouldn't want to take a sip. The cloud also contains vast amounts of propyl cyanide, a lethal chemical that would end your tasting tour instantly. The universe also produces objects of such extreme density that they defy common sense. Neutron stars are the collapsed cores of massive stars that went supernova. They are about 20 kilometers across, the size of a small city, but they contain about 1.5 times the mass of our Sun. A single teaspoon of neutron star material would weigh about 1 billion tons. If you dropped that teaspoon on Earth, it wouldn't just sit there. It would fall straight through the crust, through the mantle, and out the other side. These stars also spin incredibly fast, sometimes hundreds of times per second, emitting beams of radiation like a cosmic lighthouse. These are called pulsars. Some of them are so precise that they keep time better than atomic clocks. But they are also some of the most dangerous objects in existence. Magnetars, a specific type of neutron star, have magnetic fields so powerful they would strip the data off every credit card on Earth from a distance halfway to the moon. If you got within 1,000 kilometers of one, the magnetic field would literally pull the atoms of your body into thin, needle-like shapes, dissolving your molecular structure instantly. Then there is the Great Attractor. For decades, astronomers noticed that the Milky Way and thousands of other nearby galaxies are being pulled toward a specific point in space at a staggering speed of 22 million kilometers per hour. We call this point the Great Attractor. The problem is, we can't see what it is. It lies in the zone of avoidance, a region of the sky blocked by the thick dust and gas of our own galaxy's disk. It's a gravitational anomaly so massive that it's tugging on an entire corner of the universe, and we are flying blindly toward it. Recent infrared studies suggest it might be a massive cluster of galaxies, but the scale of the pull is so large that some scientists think there's something even bigger and more mysterious hiding behind the veil. Speaking of things that shouldn't be there, meet Hoag's object. It's a galaxy, but it doesn't look like any galaxy you've ever seen. It's a perfect ring of bright blue stars surrounding a detached yellow nucleus. There is nothing but empty space between the center and the outer ring. It looks like a cosmic donut. For a long time, we thought it was the result of a collision between two galaxies, but there's no evidence of a bullet galaxy nearby that could have caused the ripple. What's even weirder is that if you look closely through the gap between the nucleus and the ring, you can see another, much more distant ring galaxy that looks exactly like Hoag's object. It's a 1 in a billion alignment of two of the rarest shapes in the universe. If you think a single galaxy is big, consider the huge LQG, or Large Quasar Group. This is a structure made of 73 quasars that stretches 4 billion light-years across. To put that in perspective, the Milky Way is only 100,000 light-years wide. This structure is so large it actually challenges the cosmological principle, which is the idea that the universe should look the same in every direction when viewed at a large enough scale. According to our math, nothing in the universe should be larger than about 1.2 billion light-years. The huge LQG is 3 times that size. It's a massive wall of energy and matter that suggests our understanding of how the universe grew after the Big Bang might be missing a very big piece of the puzzle. On a slightly smaller but more terrifying scale, we have Black Widow pulsars. These are pulsars that are slowly eating their companion stars. As the pulsar spins, it emits a blast of high-energy radiation that hits the nearby star, slowly evaporating its outer layers. Over millions of years, the pulsar strips the companion down until nothing is left but a tiny, withered husk. It's a cannibalistic relationship where the dead star survives by destroying the living one. But perhaps the most eerie thing ever found is the Boötes void, also known as the Great Nothing. It's a massive region of space about 330 million light-years in diameter that contains almost nothing. In a space that size, you would expect to find at least 2,000 galaxies. Instead, we found about 60. It is a desert in the middle of a cosmic ocean. If the Milky Way were in the center of the Boötes void, we wouldn't have known other galaxies existed until the 1960s, because the nearest one would be so far away it would be invisible to early telescopes. It's a hole in the universe, and we still aren't entirely sure how it formed or why it's so empty. Finally, there's the Smith cloud. It's a giant cloud of hydrogen gas, 11,000 light-years long and 2,500 light-years wide, and it's currently screaming toward the Milky Way at 1.1 million kilometers per hour. It contains enough gas to create 2 million stars the size of our sun. It's not a threat to us. It won't hit our solar system. But when it slams into the edge of our galaxy in about 27 million years, it's going to set off a spectacular burst of star formation, a cosmic fireworks show that will change the shape of our galaxy forever. The more we look, the more we realize that space isn't just a place where things happen, it's a collection of the impossible. From planets made of diamond to clouds that smell like raspberries and voids that stretch for hundreds of millions of light-years, the universe is much weirder than we give it credit for. We are just small observers on a very normal rock trying to make sense of a reality that is far more bizarre than anything we could ever dream up.